channel. So done.
Very good.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for
Hello,
being
Ramiro.
here. I've
Hello.
got about 20 people on board, 19, 20 people on board, and eventually we'll be posting this on the YouTube channel. Today we are talking about the Guadalajara Book Fair, the FIL. And we have with us Armando and David from the Guadalajara Book Fair. Please say hi so people know who you are.
Hello,
And
Simon. Hello,
Hello,
everyone.
Robert, you're not part of the you're not Armando, and you're not David. And we got Ramiro and Hansa, who are from the industry on the publishing side, and they've actually participated in the Guadalajara Book Fair. So the reason we created this event is because Ramiro and David felt it was important to reach out to people to talk about PWB, and PWB felt, sorry, about Guadalajara. And we at PWB felt that it was important to do this earlier than later because if people are keen about coming to Guadalajara, May is pretty much the right time to be thinking about going to Guadalajara in the end of November, beginning of December. We're going to be talking about a few things. And just so you remember, because I might forget, there'll be at least three things to talk about. There'll be fellowship, the Rights Center, and a PWB collective stand. That's the newbie for this year. So perhaps we can turn to you, Armando and David, and perhaps you can give us just a quick run on about the fellowship to start with, because that's something that only a few people can register to. Let's talk about that first.
Okay, Armando, would you like me to talk?
Yes, please. You speak about the fellowship, and I speak about the Right Center if you want.
Okay, so we've had a fellowship for the last 13 years, and in the past, the fellowship has been by invitation only, and we've been alternating between publishers of adult fiction and narrative, memoir, and children's books. This year's focus is on editors, not agents, who focus on adult fiction and narrative. And the deadline for applying, I believe, is June 6th or 7th. It's on our website at www.fil.com.mx. And the fellowship is available only for those editors that have never been to FIL. That's a very important point. And also, you have to be involved in the buying of rights. This is not a selling opportunity, it's a buying opportunity. We have hundreds of writers that participate in FIL, and this is an opportunity for you to learn about new writers, learn about books by old writers, and consider signing them up. The fellowship includes a good portion of your airfare, depending on where you're coming from $300 to $1,200. And it covers 6 nights of hotel. It includes all transfers in Mexico, parties. Parties are very important, social events, dinners, and most
We fix the agenda as well.
and an extensive agenda that involves meetings with different kinds of publishers from different countries so that they can show you what their latest publications are. It's really a learning opportunity for newbies. It's not necessary for you to speak Spanish, but it is necessary for you to be coming to work and to collaborate with the 7 to 10 other fellows that will be with you. The fellows come from all over the world and all the continents. We try not to have 2 applicants from each country, but sometimes it happens. Again, it's on our website. We invite you to apply. We've received a number of applications sufficient to make a selection, but we are looking for more applicants with an open heart towards Latin American and Iberian literature.
Actually, I just posted the link to make the registration, so you can see there all the guidelines. You can make the registration there, and I think now it's a good opportunity to speak a little bit with Anse, because Anse was a fellow in 2022, if I'm
2022, yes.
yes,
So
so he
tell us more
can
about
tell
that,
us a
Hans.
little bit about it.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a great opportunity for me to get to know about the market because I knew pretty much zero about it. I knew where Latin America is. That's kind of it, right? So no, in reality, we haven't ever published anything from Latin America. I had no connections with any publishers from Latin America, and it opened a lot of doors for me in both ways, actually. So it was really important for me, and also the program itself was very good opportunity to network with not just Latin Americans, but with anybody from the industry. So I got to know a lot of people even from the publishing. What is the sorry, from like Jose Borguigno and so on, right? That
Yes,
I
from IPA.
IPA.
IPAs. Thank you. So that's also one of the aspects maybe that actually you mentioned earlier the parties, right? So this was very good entry point for me, and I have returned twice since. So I mean, okay, the 2023 was the guest of honor was European Union, so I went because of that. And last year I decided to go again, but it was more for the selling part of my business.
I have to say that I was the first time I ever did a fellowship, Armando. I don't know if you remember this, but this was back
Yeah.
2013. I just bought Les 400 Coups, and the first fellowship I did was the one with FIL Guadalajara, and it really actually I felt I had sometimes you go to a place and then you realize years later that you wish you could go back for the same fellowship because you would do things a little differently because you realized how much there was that you just didn't understand was potentially great information to collect. And if there's one thing I got to say is that fellowship, if you've never been to Guadalajara, because if you have been, this fellowship is not for you, unfortunately. But Guadalajara can still be for you for all kinds of other great reasons. And Ramiro will be talking about that later, and we'll talk about the PWB. And there's all kinds of events. There were parties that David talked about. It's not only for the fellowship members, it's for other people as well. But the fellowship is something that really allows you to get deep down into the Latino American publishing industry with great speakers, great events. It's worth looking into. So
Thank you, Simon.
And you guys, you really had at least at that time, a very nice program where you basically educated us with all the knowledge that we needed to actually approach our sector of publishing. I come from the children and YA, and that's our focus. So I got really a lot of info from your presenters.
all
Thank
right.
you. Yeah,
Answer.
it's a complicated market. It's we have 700 million Spanish language speakers in the world. We have a very high participation from Spain and also South America. The fellowship is intense because you go from meeting to meeting, and at the same time, you have free time to set up meetings for yourself in terms of your own private buying and selling of rights. And
Hansa,
as
you mentioned that after you came back in 24, and this time you were there for selling and buying. So I believe you took a table at the Right Center. Is that correct?
Yes, I did. And it
So
is
maybe we can switch to that. And Armando, you can talk about the Right Center. And Ramiro, we'll get back to you because you know about the events that are happening. But let's talk about the Right Center, and then we can talk about the book fair because it's not just a Right Center. It's not just a fellowship. It's an amazing book event.
Yes, we have the Right Center, which is the first one in Iberoamerica. Last year we had 120 tables, and basically it's an easier way to participate at FIL Guadalajara because you don't have to bring a lot of books. You can just bring some catalogs. It's a more comfortable place to have meetings, to be around. You don't have to be there for the whole time. You can still surf the book fair and have good meetings, and it is very affordable. And we have two choices, which is the table or the table plus 3 nights of accommodation. And I just posted as well the guidelines and the information at the chat. So it is a very good way to come to FIL Guadalajara for the very first time. We have many agents and publishers, mostly from United States, from the UK, from many European countries. Yes, Simone from Canada, from many European countries. So it is a good way to approach Guadalajara and to approach the Latin American market. And I think, Ramiro, it's important to have you here because you are from Argentina. You work for AC Editora from Argentina, and I think it will be great to know a little bit about your experience of coming to Guadalajara as the big Latin American book market, as the big Latin American book fair that we have. I don't know if you can share us a little bit about your experience, a little bit about what can you find in Guadalajara, and a little bit of your vision about this.
Well, of course, indeed, Armando. Hi, everybody. Well, as he said, I'm from Argentina, South America. And honestly, I probably won't be saying anything that you don't already know, but I have to say it's one of the major things for our consideration on FIL Guadalajara is the amazing reach they have on. I would say it's the book fair, the gateway for America as a whole. Honestly, it's not just about Latin America. It's the way to get into all American continents, North America, South America, Central America. I mean, it's something that even though we already knew it, once we started going to Guadalajara, we realized that there are huge markets and a lot of different markets. We have a huge advantage from European book fairs, and if you get inside FIL Guadalajara, you will get the chance to get into many countries and to engage with all publishers around the continent. For us, we started very humbly many years ago. I think it was like 2007, 2008, and we participate in collective stands from our country, and it was our must go for all the international book fairs, but not only for distribution deals. Honestly, we started selling rights to Indian publishers, and we started to interact to publisher around the world. And nowadays we already have our own stand, and I have to say it is by far, even though maybe some Argentinians, we are a little bit I would say cocky, and we like our stuff and we love our book fair. And even though I'm part of the Argentinian book chamber, I have to say we are very far away from Guadalajara. It's the spot to be and the gateway to all America. And honestly, I would like also to say, because we try and we work with different international book fairs, it is a definitely advantage, the organization. I know that Armando and David are here, but I have to say it honestly, you can rest assured that you will be well taken care of. They are really helpful. And if it's your first, your second, or even your 10th time here, you can really count on them. And I have never experienced anything closer to that in any book fair. And it really helps on the networking and, of course, the parties as well.
And I think
Ramiro, I have to say thank you for that. We try to have a fair, we use a word in Spanish called amigable, which is a little bit more than friendly. It's also encompassing and embracing. And we also we try to be non-competitive We have very strong alliances with Colombia, with Argentina. We don't feel that that our fair is the only fair. We speak very highly of other fairs in the region, even Central American. I'm from Guatemala. I speak highly of the FIL Guadalajara because there are opportunities there that people have not discovered. But every country that holds an international book fair is an opportunity to enlarge your publishing list.
I think we've been charmed, both by the Right Center and the fellowship. Perhaps before we talk about the third element, which is the opportunity to have a PWB collective stand, Armando and David, Hansa, Ramiro, let's talk about the fair. I mean, let's say I've never been to this book fair. How is it different? What does it look like? What does it feel like in terms of being there? How long does it last? Just giving us, a deeper understanding so that what's the point of me picking up part of the collective stand if I don't know what it feels like to be there? So can you just give us some feedback there? You're in the elevator with me, and you've got a few minutes to convince me to come to Guadalajara. Please go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I will be telling you the dates of the book fair. This year, it will take place from November 29 to December 7. But we have 3 days exclusive for professionals, which are December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It is exclusive for professionals. You can have meetings at the Right Center. You can have meetings at the stand, or you can use the business center. It is a book fair good to trade copyright, but also as Ramiro or the Latin Americans to book for librarians, booksellers, booksellers and distributors, which is good because you can find rights business, but also distribution business. It is also a very good literary festival because there are many authors there, not only from Latin America or Mexico, but from the globe around. And you will find Nobel Prizes. We have a guest of honor. This year is the city of Barcelona, and every year we have a different guest of honor. So there are plenty of things to do. David, what else would you add?
Well, it's the book fair can be a little bit overwhelming. I think what you said is you just arrive, and if you arrive on one of the public days, you may see between 90 and 100,000 people coming from 9 in the morning till 9 at night. On the professional days, as Armando said, from 9 to 5, only professionals are permitted. In the Right Center, in fact, it's open on Sunday, so you can have meetings on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. There are exhibiting opportunities for 5 days and also for 9 days. I think if you're part of PWB, except for the collective stand that we're initiating this year, you don't want to think about taking a stand the first time. It's a lovely fair. It's quite beautiful. There's a really palpable energy. In many ways, it's like Frankfurt. Frankfurt is also a very intense book fair. London is an intense book fair. Bologna is intense, but also beautiful. We'd like to consider ourselves almost sister fairs with Bologna in terms of how our exhibitors and visitors feel about the fair. If you go to Guadalajara, it's not necessary for you to speak Spanish. It's very helpful, but it's not necessary. And the friendship and the openness of the Mexican people is something that has impressed me for the 33 years that I've been working for the book fair. I have been working for the book fair that long. And I was initially attracted to the fair in 1987, the first time I went there, and I said, oh my God, something is happening here that is happening nowhere else in the world. So I'm sold on going to Guadalajara every year.
So we got the dibs from the people who are selling it. but what about the people who have paid to be there? Hans, Ramiro, what's it like being at the fair?
As David said, uh, that it can be very overwhelming. I actually never found it really so overwhelming. I think, for example, London, which is smaller, I found it more chaotic than Guadalajara. So I think it's very charming. And as you said, people are really friendly, and it has some sort of friendliness feeling all over. So yeah, I really like to be attending. Just from like being there, it's really nice to be there. Um, okay, about the selling, or the opportunities that I have as a publisher. Yes, okay, they are limited, but I come from a small country, so I cannot expect too much from the very beginning. But I think it's like a snowball effect, right? So I think and the snowball is rolling and getting bigger. So
And from my side, I could say we all get a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious before going to any international book fair. And I think one of the key issue for Guadalajara, at least it was in my experience, is don't worry if you don't have a packed agenda prior to the trip. This is, for me, the huge highlight for Guadalajara, the openness. I mean, it's by far the greatest book fair that I met people by chance. And I think it's one of our main search that we get, at least for me, in international book fairs. Not only the agenda, because we have those contacts, we can reach out by other means, LinkedIn, email. But the one thing that I did find very useful in Guadalajara is don't worry if you don't have a packed agenda and you have to build from it. You have a special openness to get to meet people. I mean, I experienced some meetings in international book fairs where I was even the guy buying rights, and they say, okay, this is very nice. Do you have an appointment? No, I don't have. Well, there's no chance. But I mean, I'm here at the book fair. I want to meet. And in Guadalajara, it's a huge difference. I mean, the encounter by chance with international publishers, I think it's the most important and key question about Guadalajara. So I really would take that anxious and anxiety on the agenda to take it back and just try it.
I have to agree, and you'll allow me to put in my 2 cents worth. Because I've been there a few times, and one of the first things that hit me when I was there back in 13 was that the evident mix between professional and public book fairs, and that gives it a totally different flavor. I mean, you are working hard, and then in the afternoon suddenly you've got children and parents and young adults, and it also gives us a sense that this is a book world. This is a book market for the people of Guadalajara. It's not just professionals meeting together, but the people in Guadalajara are fond of books and they want to be. And the lineups, I mean, some of our greater rock stars would die to have the lineups that are outside trying to get in to this book fair. And that's just a wonderful moment. And the color and the flavor as you're walking down the aisles. And I was telling Armando that my most favorite lane is JJ because of all of the young children's Latino American publishers that are there. It's like going in a candy shop for me. It's the best aisle ever. I could spend days there. I could just sit down and take all the books and read them. So there's something about going to Guadalajara that isn't just about doing business. And serendipity is the word that Prashant used. And Ramiro goes back to what you're saying is you got to go with the flow. When you're in Guada, you got to go with the flow. You got to make some meetings, but find time to let yourself walk around the halls and meet people. And they tend to be really kind and welcoming you. It's not like they're looking at you from a distance saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, I don't have a meeting with you. Can't do it." It's more like, "When can we meet?" So, yeah. All right. So you've sort of convinced us that this might be worth going to. Okay. And now you're thinking, let's talk about the PWB Collective stand. Now, here's the truth. We've had that in a few places. Others have tried. It's not an easy call because it means that people have to be thinking about, do I want to invest? So let's talk about what it would cost, why I should go, and how do I do it?
Yes, I think it is a good idea to have a PWB collective stand because it is a good way for us to find new exhibitors, new people to join us for the book fair. Of course, that the fellowship and the Right Center are good opportunities for that, but we want to go beyond that, and this is a great community. So a great community always needs to have a place, needs to have a home. So that is why we're offering this PWB collective stand. It is sponsored by FIL Guadalajara, partly sponsored by FIL Guadalajara, by PWB, and also by Ordinal Books. That is a publisher that will organize, the setting up, the general organization of the stand. But we want to offer a good deal for new exhibitors or for people that want to join us, as long as they are part of the PWB. The cost will be 1,500 US dollars, and this collective stand will include 2 exhibition bookshelves per company participating, at one table with 2 chairs. They can be included at the exhibitors and professionals catalog. They can use the books warehouse, and they can use the business center, of course. They can have 3 nights of accommodation as part of this package. They can have the professionals Wi-Fi, which is from Sunday to Wednesday, and the participation is only for the first 5 days of the book fair, from November 30 to December 3rd. After that, Ordinal Books will take the space and will run it through the public days. And we have an alternative option without the lodging, without the accommodation, and the cost is $1,200. So I think it is a good choice for new publishers, for new people that haven't been here. And we're making a leaflet, a brochure to share it with everyone. You can request it to my email, and I will send it to you by the end of May, because we're still making some arrangements with Ordinals about the design, about very specific things. But this is the basic information: $1,500, including 3 nights of accommodation, 2 bookshelves, or without the accommodation, $1,200.
Okay, so we're going to make sure that this information is shared on the PWB
Great.
different events. There's so many, I don't know where to put them. They'll be everywhere. So we're talking about
And something important, and
yeah,
sorry to
please.
interrupt you, we can only have 7 participants at this collective.
Okay.
It is
So
a very
numbers
limited choice, because we
first
want
come,
to
first
have a beautiful stand. We want to have a good design, first come, first serve. So this is important. It is something that we cannot share with a lot of people, because we want to have a beautiful stand. And also something that I forgot to include is that we will offer a small cocktail at the stand, and it will be part of the fee that we will charge.
You know what everybody's asking. Prashant's asking this question right away. Will they be allowed to go to the parties? That's what they want to know, basically,
Yes, you will be invited to all the parties that we have tickets for. Obviously, we can't get you invited to parties that are
you don't even know about.
Even restricted to employees of the FIL. Armando, if I'm not wrong, the stand that you're visualizing is 36 square meters. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. Actually, I want to share a picture of the design that Ordinal just sent me. If I can share that.
And that's Yana Gonzalez, who many of you know. She's the proprietor of Ordinal Books, and a lovely, lovely person.
Yeah, she organizes good parties as well.
Yeah.
Emma, if you can allow me to
Yeah,
share my screen.
So in short, basically, what happens? Here's a question for you. I don't speak Spanish, and I need to go to the bathroom. I need to eat. Can somebody man my booth while I'm gone for an hour or something? Will we be able to have some support from Phil to have somebody manage our stand, or are we on our own?
Actually, there are a few things that are not included in this cost. One is the stand manager. This is something that all the participants have to share. This is one of the things, the stand management, and also coffee, water, these kind of small things that have to share among all the participants. But that's the most
Those are minimal
expensive
fees.
things. Yeah, those are minimum fees. Yes.
Okay.
Can you see the design?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. This is basically what we will offer you. 2 shelves. If you can see the Harry Potter one and the If one, these two are for one participant. We will offer a different table and different chairs, but basically this is the design that we will offer with the logos of the companies, with the logo of the PWB, and it is a stand in a corner in the International Pavilion. Basically, this is the space that we will offer. We will send a more complete brochure by the end of May for everyone who is interested. Please let us know. I will also post my email at the chat. So if you have any question, or if you have any question now, please let us know. I think this is a good opportunity, besides the Right Center and the fellowship, to come to Guadalajara, to bring your books, to have a comfortable space to work, and that's it, David. I don't know if you want to add something else.
No, I think
beautiful presentation. You want to maybe close your screen sharing? Thank you so much, Armando and David, for the presentation. Hansa and Ramiro, thank you for taking the time to tell us that it's worth going to. I hope everybody's got a chance to think about this. Deciding to go to a new book. Yes, Ramiro.
Sorry, Simon. Sorry.
No, please.
Thank you very much. Just wanted to add a little something about the collective stands. One of the peculiarities, I think, in Guadalajara, because maybe you are wondering where this collective stand will be spot in the area. And one of the things Guadalajara Book Fair has, I can assure you, people go all around. You won't be just back in the corner where you sometimes experience this thing. For me, it was amazing. Even when we changed our stands, people just go around. They are really, really walk around. And the other thing that I wanted to highlight, as we are an educational publisher as well as a children's and adults. And the thing in Guadalajara also is the wide range of specifications. It's not just children, it's not just adults. You will find all the wide range you need for your specific publisher.
You're very good point. Thank you, Ramiro, for bringing that in. That's so true. It's not a children. I talk about children's publishing because that's where I come from. But you're right. It's a very wide, diverse offer. But and I think David was mentioning that there's a connection with Bologna because they do care about children's and they've made it into a central element. But it's not the only central. There's a lot to offer, and you're right that Armando has shown me where in the halls it would be, and the stand will be in a perfect location for you to be seen. I love the way that the L shape allows for people to walk in, and they can see above and beyond the one publisher that they were looking to meet. So that's a really good opportunity. So it's a tough call for a lot of people to make those decisions, but I'm glad we're doing this in May so that people can think about now. Flights are always a complicated thing, but making those reservations earlier makes them usually cheaper. And as far as that's concerned, maybe we haven't mentioned it, but the hotel accommodations that Armando has mentioned, both for the Right Center or for the PWB, I've seen the hotels, and I mean, the second to none. It's very good accommodations, never far from the fair. And needless to say that there's lots to do in Guadalajara when you're not at the book fair. So yeah, the only
Yeah,
thing you're gonna have to do,
wanted to say
Armando and David, is send us the best restaurants
right.
in Guadalajara as well, so that we can figure out our
This
reservations.
is something very important, Simon, because you know, food for us is very important. As long as the social part of the book fair, food, you know, having a meal, having a dinner with, you know, with colleagues, with friends, or with customers, it is very important for us to make business, to make a better approach, and the social part, you know, the cocktails, the parties, but as well. We do different things. The Argentinians, for example, they organize a football match on Thursday. This is something that, you know, make all the people approach, make the people get to know each other. So the social part is really, really important, and the food as well. So
And
we will give you some advice about where to eat, where to go out, and everything. We will be
also,
glad to do that.
if I can just add, you don't have to come through the United States to get to Mexico. There are lots of flights from Asia
Canada.
and Europe. But if you go through the States, there's, you know, I live in New York. New York is an independent country within the United States. There's transport through Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, and New York, but you can get to Guadalajara through Mexico City.
There is also a direct flight from Madrid, which is very good for the Europeans to come. It's a very comfortable flight, so I recommend also the Madrid flight.
That's good to know. Yeah, you're right.
And Prashant is mentioning about from Barcelona as well, yeah, to
Perfect.
Mexico City, yeah.
And Barcelona will be the guest of honor. You were mentioning that, so that's a nice opportunity to discover more about Barcelona as well. So, well, folks, I don't know if you've been convinced, but I certainly will be tempted, and we'll have to think strongly about whether or not this is going to be my opportunity. You know, right center, PWB stand, right center, PWB stand.
And also the fellowship.
Well, I can't. I've been there before, so
Yes.
so I'm excluded from the fellowship. But if you've never been to Guadalajara and you're in the right category, David, remind us again the category for this year.
How do you mean the category? Oh, it's adult fiction. Adult fiction.
If your
narrative.
publishing house publishes adult fiction, other than, I mean, in the list of what you do, if you do publish adult fiction and you've never been to Guadalajara, this is something you got to register. And I think David mentioned that looking for people from everywhere, but specifically Asia. I think you mentioned somewhere down in the line. If you've not,
Asia
and Africa. So,
but mostly non-Spanish-speaking countries, because we want publishers that buy rights to translate them into their languages.
Right. And it's a good point. You just mentioned it, Armando. You're not going there to sell, you're going there to buy. Obviously, you can show what you've got.
For the fellowship, yes.
Yeah, for the fellowship. You're going there to look at what's available for your own market. So you've got to go there for it with the open mind of coming back with some great titles.
It is a very intense agenda for the fellows. We don't want them to rest. We want them to be tired at the end of the fellowship, but happy.
Yes. Yes, perfect. Well, thank you so much, all four of you. I hope it helped a little bit in the reflection time for those of you who are around. The fortunate thing, those of you who couldn't be with us today or this morning, we will have this posted on our YouTube channel. And so you can go and find all that information. And we'll be posting all of the links that might be relevant on our PWB different stands. I want to thank Emma and Prashant, who are somewhere in the back. They're always there to help. And Fatima, who organized this with the team, they were there. She was there as well to make sure that we would rally this great team of speakers this morning. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being there, and I'll wish you a very good day. Cheers.
Thank you.